Good afternoon. Welcome to Shades of Purple, a Prince podcast. I am your host, Ronica Crutchfield. On today's episode, I'm going to be talking about the origins of the song Little Red Corvette. Now, of course, Little Red Corvette is probably one of the most popular songs in Prince's whole discography. And the reason why I wanted to do this is because I started a series late last year or the year before. We're going on year 3 for the podcast. So um I've done so many episodes now, I'm getting them mixed up. But I started a series called Origin Story about the origins of Prince's songs and just my opinion on, where he may have been at mentally at the time when he wrote this song, and what was going on in his personal and professional life at the time when he wrote the song. So a lot of it is just my opinion, but this particular song, there is a lot of information about the possible origins for this song. We're also going to look at the lyrics and kind of break the lyrics down a little bit as well. So, of course, I went to the princevault.com to get just the statistics on the song Little Red Corvette. So it says Little Red Corvette is the second track on Prince's fifth album, 1999, and it came out 3 months after the album's release. Little Red Corvette was, again, the album's second single. In 1993, the track was included as the seventh track on Prince's compilation, The Hits 2, also included as the second disc of The Hits, the B-Sides. In 2001, the track was included as the third track on the compilation album, The Very Best of Prince. So this is just explaining, other history connected to the song. In 2006, Little Red Corvette Dance Remix was included as the second track on the second disc of the compilation album Ultimate. The original album version has also been included as the B-side on various re-releases of 1999, the first single from Prince's fifth album, 1999. Basic tracking for Little Red Corvette took place at Prince's Kiowa Trail home studio in Chanhassen on the 20th of May, 1982, marking the first 24-track recording on a newly installed Soundcraft 3B console in his home recording studio. So this was the first 24-track recording he did on this particular Soundcraft console at his Kiowa Trail home studio. After Prince's passing, a woman from St. Paul named Mei Ling Stone came forward to claim she was the inspiration for the song. According to her, she first met Prince in 1976 and then again in 1979. She was a student at the University of Minnesota, locally known as Fancy Dancer, and thinks Sexy Dancer could have also been named after her. But there was a white woman that was on The Bachelor, like the Golden Bachelor, who claimed that she was a dancer and that she dated Prince, and she thinks the song was named after her. So it's just these, and not to say that Mei Ling is incorrect or that the other woman is incorrect, but there seems to be all these women that were associated with Prince, whether they actually dated him or not. They seem to be of the opinion that certain songs were about them. And even the women that actually dated Prince think that. Like, for example, okay, I know I'm getting off topic, but now Susanna Melvoin, which, out of all the women that Prince dated in the 80s, I think her relationship with him was the most serious. He proposed to her around the time that he was filming Under the Cherry Moon. They lived together for a little while in the Purple House. So I think, like I said, she was basically the Maite of the 80s, is what I'm trying to say. But there were some songs that were associated with her that I feel like were not about her. And probably the most famous one was Nothing Compares to You. She actually said in an interview that, she just randomly was just saying different songs that Prince wrote for her. But according to Susan Rogers, who was Prince's his principal engineer at the time, she said that she thought Nothing Compares to You was about his housekeeper that left for a little while because I think her father passed away, and he missed, just having her around because I guess she was such a good housekeeper. And I forget the lady's name, but I mean, it sounds weird, but I don't put it past Prince. Okay, that's what I'm saying. But Susanna believed that the song was about her. And in the same way, she kind of thought that the song The Beautiful Ones was about her. And Prince himself would kind of debunk this in a 2015 interview that he did with Ebony. The interviewer said that, The Beautiful Ones was supposed to be about Susanna Melvoin. And Prince said in the interview, he was like, I don't know why everybody thinks the song is about them. He said the song came from the movie. Like, the exchange that the kid and Apollonia had when Apollonia came into First Avenue with Morris Day, and when Prince was on stage singing The Beautiful Ones, and they were having that, that exchange back and forth. Do you want him? Do you want me? But why I think this song was definitely about somebody else was he also added Vanity had just left the group. And he said this in his 2015 Ebony interview. And that made me think, okay, for him to say, okay, Vanity had just left, that makes me think that it was about Vanity and not about Susanna Melvoin. Now, they were both dating. I mean, Prince was both kind of dating both of them. I think in 1984, I don't think that Vanity had totally left. I think she had left the camp, but she may have been kind of like, still mingling around a little bit. But he was supposed to have been exclusively dating Susanna Melvoin by 1984, but he was messing around with Sheila E., Madonna, and whoever else in 1984 as well. So it's not a stretch. It's not a stretch to think that he may have still been sleeping with Vanity as well and was really, really missing her and wrote the song The Beautiful Ones about her. But I'm totally off base now. But I just wanted to point out that I'm not saying that Mei Ling is necessarily wrong. And I talked about this in her and what she said about it. Actually, she contacted me after I did my review of the 1999 album, and I mentioned her. And she messaged me and kind of corrected me about the situation with her and the boxer, and her relationship with Prince as well, because she did do an interview on Michael Dean's podcast, the podcast on Prince, some years back. It's been maybe about 5 or 6 years ago now. And she, she told the story about, seeing Prince again for the second time after the heavyweight fight that happened in, I think it was maybe Minneapolis or St. Paul, one particular night. And they went back to this club, and she ran into Prince and Andre there. And her boxer friend / boyfriend was like, hey, that little guy, he looked like he wanted to, like he wanted to beat me up. I think it's what Mei Ling said that her boxer friend said. And but she made it seem like in the interview, and y'all have to go back, and I might try to post the interview in the Facebook page if I remember to. She said in the interview that her relationship with Prince wasn't, necessarily very serious, that they were just quote unquote kicking it. So you can decide what kicking it means to you. But for me, I kind of think that kicking it just means they were just fucking. Very casually fucking. But I mean, that's just my opinion. But so going back to what this is saying about Little Red Corvette. So she was a student at the University of Minnesota, talking about Mei Ling, locally known as Fancy Dancer, and think Sexy Dancer could have been about her. Prince started dating her in January 1979. She lived in a duplex on Fuller Street in St. Paul, Minnesota, and she had pictures of jockeys on her wall, among them Mike Hercules Weaver. So that was the boxer, whom at some point she also dated. Prince and her stopped seeing each other when she left Minnesota in 1980. So, like I said, it was a very, very short fling. Although elements of the story might be true, Prince was known to draw inspiration from various peoples and memories. And that's basically what he was saying in the Ebony interview, that people should stop assuming that songs are about them, because he can take a song and, and his inspiration from just about anybody or anything, and he can maybe even combine, different people into an inspiration and make his own little dream fantasy or dream world. So that is the thing, because Prince, we love him, but he was, he was weird like that. He had his different muses. And so sometimes he would make up imaginary things about them and put them in a song. Like the ballad. I mean, look at songs like the Ballad of Dorothy Parker. Now, Dorothy Parker was a real person. It was no person that Prince actually met. But, I mean, you can see Dorothy Parker as an archetype of anybody that he could have dated or had a fling with, um, because it starts off by saying that he was, he had a fight, with his girlfriend at the time. And he had other songs where he talked about, he was fighting with his girlfriend. And most often time that was either Sheila E. or Susanna Melvoin. Probably Susanna Melvoin. Because when he talked about in the song Empty Room, he was referring to Susanna, because they had just had a big fight, and so he wrote the song Empty Room. Now, there were quite a few songs that Prince wrote about fights, were based around fights, or after fights, I should say, that he had with Susanna. So I can't say that. Now, the song Adore, I think, is definitely most likely about her. Forever in My Life is definitely about Susanna. So I don't want to make it seem like he didn't write any songs about her, because that would be incorrect. He wrote songs about, just like I said, just about every woman that he dated. He probably had a song for. Just like and that's, with that being said, Little Red Corvette is a song that he was either talking about Mei Ling or, once again, Vanity. I think the majority of Prince's songs that he wrote in this time period meaning 1980 to about 1984, I think were mostly about Vanity. And the reason why I said that is because they basically dated from about 1980 to about 1983, because they met at the American Music Awards in 1980. And back when Vanity, or Denise Matthews, she came to the American Music Awards that year as what is his name? Rick James. Rick James's date. And I don't know how serious their relationship was, because she only mentioned him by once in her memoir that I did review about almost 2 years ago now. So check that out. It's my highest highest plays on that particular episode is about it's called Blame It on Vanity is the name of the book. And it's really hard to find. I had to actually go on her estate page and pay $60 and pray that I would get a copy of the book. And I did. It was a paperback book, and I still have it in my collection. But anyway, so going back to Mei Ling. So although elements of the story might be true, Prince was known to draw inspiration from various people and memories. Sorry for repeating that. Lisa Coleman, in a 2019 interview, says she thinks Prince came. Hold on. Did I not print out the rest of it? Well, I know the rest of it. So basically, Lisa Coleman, who of course was the keyboardist in the Revolution, said that she believes that Prince got the inspiration for Little Red Corvette based on her pink Mercury car that she had. It was an old pink Mercury, one of those long cars. And he would, so Lisa would let, Prince borrow it from time to time, and he would take out Vanity. And him and Vanity would, probably, make out, have sex, whatever, in the car. And the reason why I say that is because Lisa said that she commented a lot of times, sometimes after Prince would have the car, she would, see hair and, all type of stuff in the back seat. And so she kind of, drew the conclusion that, him and Vanity were getting on basically in her pink Mercury car. And so she believes that that is the inspiration for Little Red Corvette. So either way, it's basically talking about a girl who is, as the old folks say, very fast. In that way, much like a car, because she's kind of out there. She's very sexually liberated, we can say, and or sexually friendly. She doesn't mind, hooking up, making out, and okay, well, I'm done with you. On to the next. So, I mean, that could definitely be, that sounds to me, I mean, since it was just, I mean, the way the lyrics are, and let's go look at the lyrics, makes it seem like it was kind of a fly by night kind of situation. And so that kind of leans more prudence to Mei Ling to me, because he says that, um, baby, you're much too fast. Yes, you are. Little Red Corvette. You need to find a love that's gonna last. And to me, with her, being in Prince's life all of maybe less than a year, because she met him first in 1976, and then she met him again in 1979, and by 1980, she was gone. She had left the state of Minnesota. So, Vanity, she was with him um, more consistently like I said, from 1980 to about 1983 or 4. And so it just, to me, it just seems like, it was just such a fast fling type of situation. And then with her herself says that she had pictures of these different so-called jockeys on her wall, and that she had, so I don't know if one of the jockeys was this boxer, this Weaver guy that she dated. But Prince, saw those pictures and was like, okay. So, this is what we're doing. All right. So he may have just seen it as just a one-time fling, but he might have thought, oh, she's a nice girl, but I guess I'm just gonna hit it and quit it, because that's really all she kind of wants. And I might, even if I want more, I'm just gonna be like, okay, you're a little bit too fast for me. He also supposedly had made comments about Madonna as well, being kind of that way, very fast and very sexually aggressive as well. But that was all on Prince.org, so you can take that with a grain of salt. But going back to these lyrics, so he has a famous opening line. Guess I should have known by the way you parked your car sideways that it wouldn't last. And so, because she's such in a hurry that she don't have time to try to park straight. Like, she just like, boom, I'm here, let's go. So already. And that is telling how people park, you know, as subtle as it may seem, that is a way to kind of deduce how they are, like what their personality is like. Because somebody who is just doesn't care how they park crooked, they park however, that's somebody that don't give a damn. Okay. Like, they don't care about nothing. They're kind of inconsiderate, because sometimes if you're parked sideways, I mean, you're taking up, possibly another parking spot from somebody else. So you're inconsiderate, you're selfish, and you're just all about what you want to do. You're all about instant gratification. Because let me, park this real quick and go ahead and get what I want so I can get on, type of thing. So, so right there, that was a big red flag for Prince. But did he heed that? No, he did not. So his next line is, see, you're the kind of person that believes in making out once, leave them and love them fast. Right. Just get your rocks off and let's get on about our business type thing. I guess it must be done because you had a pocket full of horses, Trojan and some of them used. So I'm going to assume that he is saying that he noticed she had like maybe a pack of condoms like on her person or in her purse, and noticed like if she had like a 3-pack, maybe 2 were missing, because nobody would actually keep used condoms anywhere. I mean, throw those away. So that would be disgusting. So I'm just going to assume that that is what he's meaning by that. So, but he said, but it was Saturday night, and I guess that makes it all right. I mean, because who kicks it on Saturday night? The young people, not me. Yeah, Saturday night, Friday night, the weekend. Yeah, it's time to kick it, time to have fun. And if you're single, you're ready to mingle, yeah, you gonna get your club on, you gonna get your swerve on. So he's like, what have I got to lose? Let's have fun. Let's be about it. And then he says, Little Red Corvette, baby, you are too fast. And Corvettes are very fast cars. Like, I don't know what kind of, races they've been in, but I know that, if you're driving a Corvette, you all about, that horsepower, trying to, speaking of jockeys, um, they have incredible speed. And I know next to nothing about cars, but I do know that Corvettes are, like I said, really, really fast cars. Then in the third stanza, he says, I guess I should have closed my eyes when you drove me to the place where your horses run free. So to me, that's saying, uh, almost like, before he does the jockey line, talking about, her wildness, like stallions, wild horses. That could be, like going to her, I guess, quote unquote, her stable, her house. Because I felt a little ill when I saw all the pictures of the jockeys that were there before me. So he was physically sick seeing all of these other motherfuckers that had possibly, got with her. And he was just like, how am I going to measure up to a woman who is this, so we say, experienced? I just don't know. He started to kind of doubt himself there. Believe it or not, yeah, he said, believe it or not, I started to worry. I wondered if I have enough class. But once again, he's like, hey, it's Saturday night. What I got to lose? I guess it makes it all right. And you say, baby, have you got enough gas? Oh, yeah. He said, I may not, but we going to find out. I might be on a quarter tank, but we going to roll with it, ain't we? And so, of course, he goes back to the stanza, Little Red Corvette, baby, you're much too fast. Little Red Corvette, you need a love that's gonna last. And then finally he says, at the end, where they cut, if you see the music video, they kind of cut it off at the last, you need to, no, you're gonna ride it right to the ground. Right to the ground. Run to the ground. But in the extended version, he talks about, baby, you are much too fast. Baby, you got to slow down. Because if he's like, you got to ask that. Let me find that. I'm reading too fast. But he talks about being a limousine. Yeah. You must be a limousine. And then he says, but before that, he was like, give me the keys. I'm going to try to tame your little red love machine. So, is he talking about her for Jaden, for JJ? Um, making her love red, kind of like the song Head, where he's like, till your love is red, head. So I think he's talking about her love button, her love machine. Um, Little Red Corvette, hun, you got to slow down. Slow down. So in 2009, I know I'm kind of going everywhere now, but in 2009, when he did the Montreux festival up in, I think, Switzerland, he did he slowed down Little Red Corvette and had the audience saying, slow down, slow down. And that's probably my favorite live version of Little Red Corvette, is that particular version. Because he said, because if you don't, you're going to run your Little Red Corvette right to the ground. And don't nobody want that. You're moving much too fast. You need a love that's going to last. Girl, you got an ass. Oh, yeah. This is where I skipped because I got the paper right in my face, y'all. But instead of just reading it, I'm just kind of like, my eyes are just all over the place on this damn paper. So, girl, you got an ass like I have never seen. And then he does that. I don't know what. I can't even make that noise. Um, and the ride, he said, I said the ride is so, you must be a limousine. And in her interview, Mei Ling said that Prince had actually told her that, verbatim about her ass being like a limousine. So, once again, I don't know how true that is, because she acted like when she heard the song, and I don't know how long it took her to hear the extended version where that has that part about the limousine, but she said that when she first heard the song, she didn't think nothing of it. She loved the song. She didn't put two and two together and think that the song was about her at all. But then eventually it came to her when she started looking at the lyrics. Hey, I think Prince is talking about me. And like I said, I'm not necessarily doubting her story. Like I said, I think her story is probably more probable than Vanity's. And like I said, the reason for that is because the relationship was so short. His relationship with Vanity was much longer. And he could have very well drew inspiration from both instances, from his time with Vanity and his time with Maylene. So I think it's possible that he may have combined them and drew inspiration for the song from both of them. I think that's definitely possible. But this is such a, obviously if you're a Prince fan, Little Red Corvette is like a song that everybody knows. But it was a request that y'all asked me to do for this particular series origin story of Prince's songs. So let me know what other song y'all want me to do or for this series origin story, and I will do it. The next episode, I'm going to be talking about Prince's haters. So I'm going to do top 5 people that could not stand Prince. And that one will be kind of short because, there wasn't a lot of people that didn't like him that were at least vocal about it. So I'll say that much. So it might be more than 5. I'll just try to decide exactly how many I want to put on the list, but it'll at least be 5. So stay tuned for that. Okay, guys. So that's it for this episode. Thank you so much for listening. And until I see y'all again or y'all hear me again, peace and be wild, and may you live to see the dawn. Bye.